The Coach Joe Morrison Show is being brought to you in part by C&S Bank. By Carolina Pride. The best things in life are made with Carolina Pride. By the Columbia Coca-Cola Bottling Company. When Coca-Cola is part of your life, you can't beat the feeling. By Duquesne, the innovators in gas grills. By your Carolina Chrysler Plymouth dealers. By Roper Temporary Services, Columbia's best temporary services. And by Yesterday's Restaurant and Tavern, for regional American cooking in an atmosphere that's downright homey.
Forest with Coach Joe Morrison.
Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to the Coach Joe Morrison Show. One of those wonderful days yesterday at Williams-Brice Stadium, fourth largest crowd ever to see the Gamecocks play at home, 74,800, and what a victory, a 23-10 over a top 10 ranked team, the Georgia Bulldogs. Always great to get one over the Bulldogs, but Coach, it's the way you did it. You dominated almost every phase of the game.
Well, I told our young men after the ball game, I was very, very proud of them. I think one of those ball games come along just every once in a while where you get a complete effort, and I mean a hard effort, from everybody involved in the football game, offensively, defensively, special teams. They hung in there for 60 minutes, and their effort was there both physically and mentally, and the coaching staff's very proud of them.
Well, obviously, you certainly have to be. And in a game like that, you can name a lot of names. But I think let's take a unit and name a unit. The offensive line, I thought, really played very, very well for Todd and for the backs to run the ball.
They did an excellent job on pass protection. We put the ball up something like 43 times, got one sack. Running-wise, you know, again, Albert Haynes had a good day. Harold Green came in. We didn't know how much he was going to be able to play, and he turned in a fine ball game. Keith Bing, we were primarily going to use him on blocking just for pass protection back there, and he ended up running the football and doing very, very well. Mike Dingle played well, and I guess the list could go on and on, but you know, I think you have to just talk about all the team and the units. They gave a great effort. They had a good week of practice. They practiced with intensity. They practiced with concentration, and it paid off for them on Saturday.
And certainly that's the way it was on the defensive side of the football, where Georgia comes in as the nation's #1 rushing defensive team. Jolie Dunn's team took a little heat after last week against East Carolina, but they had it all together yesterday against Georgia.
Well, they did. They played very well, and as he told me during the course of the week, I guess that's the first time he thought he ever had to apologize for a shutout after last week, but they came back and they played an excellent ball game today, and the one thing that we were concerned about was the tackling because of their large backs, powerful backs, and you know, just looking at it from the sidelines, I don't believe we had too many missed tackles during the course of the afternoon.
I don't think so. Let's go ahead and take a look at it. Go out to Williams-Brice Stadium. Yesterday afternoon it was hot, 90 degrees in the sunshine, and this is a game that there was a little confusion at the beginning, and the sunshine brings out, you know, the strange ones too, and everybody having a good time. But a little confusion at the beginning of this game. They defer and end up receiving twice. How'd that happen?
Well, they did. They won the toss, and they elected to defer, and the referee turned to our captains and said, which goal do you want to defend? And I guess through all the nervousness and everything, they pointed out the goal that we wanted to defend, and then Georgia took the ball, you know, and I think the official really needed to explain all the options to our young men rather than just ask a question.
Now here's a new look on the kickoff. Colin Mackey kicking off and just kind of pooch it down there to about the 25-yard line. Make them call for a fair catch. And you don't want that run back. They had great run back.
No, they do. They have a great kickoff return individual, and we were concerned about their punt return individual because they've done very well with that so far this year.
That was Ellis in the first one. He gets over 20, almost 30 yards in the first effort. This is Georgia's first possession, and they're moving the ball, and Wayne Johnson to John Thomas for 11. Here's a 1st and 10 now. They're down at the 12-yard line. Good drive going.
Well, they had an excellent drive the first time they got the ball, and naturally we were very concerned on the sidelines with the way they moved down the field.
Well, they had 102 yards rushing for the game. Remember, the nation's leading rushing team now, and most of it on this first drive. The defense really plays hard here and comes up with some big plays.
Well, they do. And quarterback's rolling out, and Matt McKernan comes up, puts a little pressure on him, forces him out of bounds.
Gets some help from friends. A loss of 3 brings up 4th and 8. And Steve Crumley's going to try a field goal from 27 yards, which is good. The Bulldogs have the lead, 17 plays, 65 yards, 4.5 minutes of time. An impressive drive. You can't do anything with it first time you get the football. 3 downs, you're out. You have to punt the ball away, and here comes Georgia again. Any concern at this time?
Well, I think anytime you're behind 3-0, and after a drive like that, their first drive, you're concerned, you know. But our defense came back and did an excellent job. They tried to reverse and played that very well. And
played the reverse well all day, and you know that they had seen East Carolina have some success with that just a week ago. Some pressure on the passer, really starting to pay off as they missed Sadowski on that one.
I thought their punter had an excellent day. He not only got him up there for a good hang time, but he had good distance on his punts as well.
Carl Platt doing a good job receiving the punts, too. That one on a fair catch. And here you go offensively now. This is the second time. Todd really hung in there.
He stayed in the pocket very well. Carl adjusted his route and made a good run after he caught the ball.
Well, it looked like the duck got shot in the wing on this one a little bit. Wobbled out there, but got the job done, didn't it? Billy Kilmer would love that.
But it got there. That's the main thing.
Nice run after the catch, too, by Carl Platt, who cut 4 balls for 78 yards on the afternoon. This is a look at that same play, ground level. 25 yards on that one after a Georgia offsides now. It's 1st and 5.
Come back with a trap play up the middle to Keith, and he picked up 6 yards.
Bing only carried the ball 4 times, but for 27 yards, and they always seem to be big carries for him, and he's hurt. Good protection.
Come back to Carl, and he picked up about 9 yards.
Here's a 2nd down and 1 now on this next play, and you're going to see Keith Bing again. It's the line doing a good job here opening things up.
Did an excellent job of blocking, and Keith did a good job of picking his hole and running in the right area and gained about 7 yards.
And 1st and 10, you're on the Georgia 22. Look off.
Little screen out to Harold. Got some good blocks out front of him and a fine run.
Drive bogs down. You get down inside the 10. It's 4th and goal at the 6, and call on Colin Mackey, who makes it 14 straight and owns a new school record with that, tied at 3-3. 27 yards, 10 plays, 3 minutes. Still in the first quarter, Georgia back in the offense, but good pressure.
That was a fine play by Pat Hinton and Corey Miller coming in on the tackle.
They lose 9, and here's a look at it on the ground level, what it looks like now for Wayne Johnson, who's trying to find somebody to throw it to. Not going to have a lot of time to throw it. The defense really active and getting good pressure on Johnson and Talley all day long. Try to come outside with Worley, but to close him down.
That was a fine play by Pat Hinton and Matt McKernan.
Just a gain of 2, and now it's 3rd down, 17 back at the 16. And they're not going to try anything foolish from there, and the defense shuts down Worley for 4, and they're forced to punt, and we start another drive.
Again, good pass protection, and Todd goes up top, and fine catch. Hardin Brown.
25 yards on that one. Here's 1st and 5 now. This is down to the 29-yard line. There's Bing again.
Well, good blocking up front. Good hole for Keith to run through, and he did an excellent job.
Give him 10. This is a one to keep a drive alive. Boy, that's a great throw and catch.
That was a fine throw, and Carl made an excellent adjustment and a good catch.
It was a new play I put on in the week, and I just run a post down the middle, and then we have 2 outside guys that run up their different routes. And the middle was wide open, nobody was on me, so he just threw it down over the guy's head, and I just came up with it.
Maybe was a little confusion on the Georgia defense that time, and right at the line of scrimmage, and allowed Carl to get down the middle. That keeps that drive alive, down to the inside the 5-yard line. And here's Keith Bing.
Well, we tried a couple passes and then gave the ball to Keith, and he got the ball in the end zone for the touchdown.
Really an impressive drive, Coach. 80 yards, just 8 plays. He did it well, and he gets the ball over the plane. Colin Mackey gets the extra point. He still hasn't missed in his college career, and here you go with a 10-3 lead now. In the second quarter, back offensive.
Get the ball back, and Todd hit Albert Haynes out in the flat.
Young freshman from up in Connecticut caught the ball very well out of the backfield.
Did an excellent job, not only catching the ball, but running the ball as well.
Oh,
Fine catch for George Rush.
he makes a couple of them here coming up in this one. There's another one. They're going to go right back to him.
That was a good catch. That was a third down play, and we were able to pick up the first down.
Got 5 yards extra on that. Now here's talk about your great catches.
That was a great catch. We were unable to see that from the sidelines, you know, but we did see the official's hands go up in the air.
It was supposed to be an outside release, and I kind of got in the wrong, got out of position. I made an inside release because the corners were, you know, just dropping out and covering the fade. And, you know, it was like a sail read. I was supposed to clear the guy out, and Todd saw me. I had beat him downfield, and Todd saw me and threw the ball to the corner. And I had to get back in position. I had to stick on one hand out there and make the catch.
Robert Brooks, freshman from up Greenwood way, and he's just turning into a human highlight film out there.
Well, that was a great catch and a great move, and certainly a fine throw on Todd's part.
17-3 at halftime, and another impressive drive. 81 yards in 8 plays, 4 minutes. Your halftime looks like that, and some very impressive halftime statistics to go right along with it as well. You just really opened it up, did very, very well in the first half. In first downs, here's a look at it. 13-7, rushing 11 tries for 40. They have 25 tries, only 85 yards. Passing impressive, 205-36, and a wide edge in total yards, 245-121, the end of the first half. And we'll be back with more in a moment. Halftime, I guess the fans now just say, well, can we hold on? 3 plays into the drive, and Georgia has trouble holding on. It's the 3rd and 1, and they almost don't get it after Johnson fumbles.
Well, they fumbled the ball, and one of their offensive linemen recovered and came back and hit a little pass.
That was for Henderson for 14 yards. Here's 3rd and 5 later on in the drive. Here's a big play. Stops their opening drive.
Pat Hinton put good pressure on him, and Mike makes a fine interception there, but they called the ball down where he intercepted it.
You get the ball again. And
playing a 3-man defense in the back, shot out of the backfield, and I happened to be in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, maybe so, but Hinton really gives him some help here, too. There's pressure coming.
He's getting a little pressure, and Mike makes a fine play. And
good concentration. I don't think that knee was down either. But you do get the ball back, and here you come again.
Come on the draw play to Albert Haynes, and he picks up 5 yards.
Young freshman playing very well. Here's a big 3rd down and 5 now at the 34-yard line. It's an incomplete pass, but there's pass interference on the call on Georgia here. Going to give you the first down, and they did a lot of jumping around. Was there a change in cadence a little bit, Todd?
Well, we've been utilizing a non-rhythmic cadence and caused them to jump just a little bit.
Green gets 6. Late in the drive, you're in a 2nd and 10 situation here.
Comes back and gets the ball to Harold, and we pick up 7 more yards.
Now you're 3rd and 3. It's a ground level look at the next play. Nice job here by Brooks again.
It was. Fine call by Todd, and good throw, and a good catch by Robert.
And you come up short later in the drive, and Mackey's back on the field and trying for another field goal. A ground level look at that as he splits the uprights, and he has now hit 15 in a row, and it's 20-3. 11 plays, 46 yards, 4 minutes, and here's a good defensive series. And when there were so many of them, too. Throw in a hurry and can't get it on the outside, and Robinson over on the coverage. So now it's 2nd and 10 at 31.
And good hustle on the part of the defense. Everybody reacting and getting to the ball.
Now you're 3rd and 5. Here comes Worley, and he's as good as there is carrying the football. But not this time. There's Taylor again.
That was a fine play by Taylor.
Guys did a good job tackling. Once they made the initial hit, nobody's getting away. And here's this near block. Was that Baker?
Marty Baker. Carl did an excellent job fielding punts all day long.
Hester did a good job kicking it. We turn it over on this next series. That's where Todd gets his first pass interception after 117 tries, and George is back on offense again.
They come with the reverse once again. Pat Hinton's there. A bunch of folks around the football.
A lot of his friends show up, and it's 2nd and 14 now at the 20-yard line. Quarter ends. You go into the 4th quarter now. This is Talley, who's back in at quarterback, and they used the two quarterbacks. Nothing doing outside. They try to hit Hummings on that. Here's a 3rd and 14. There's a great play.
Get good pressure. Scott Windsor makes the tackle.
And again, Taylor had playing leapfrog with the blocker there.
We had a two-man coming off from the outside, and what happened was, I believe the tight end of the guard or the tackle turned out, and I just slid underneath him and came clean. You know, just something you just never can stop going.
Here it is. This is the way that Talley sees it, and he just doesn't see Windsor. He's on him. 3 black jerseys right on top of him, and that brings up a 4th down and punting situation for Hester, who's been hitting them good all day. And now Cedrill went out of the end zone, and again, there's good pressure on him, but also a nice return here by Carl. Finds little seam.
He does. He breaks the tackle and gets outside.
Looks like Turner had a pretty good block for him there to seal things off. Inside to 50. Here's Dingle.
Come back with a little screen out to Mike, and he picks up 7 yards.
Now you got 2nd and 3 at the 39.
Again, good hard running. Breaks the tackle at the line of scrimmage, and Mike picks up 5 yards for us.
Odd looking to throw. This time looks for McConnell and gets McConnell.
That was a fine catch by Vic, coming across the middle. Linebacker was right there with him.
Colin Mackey, after missing one earlier, he had the string broken, but he comes back and hits this one and makes it 23-3 as he drives home a 40-yard plus field goal. 43 on this one. 20 yards, 6 plays.
Come back with a screen. This was a real fine play by Michael Talbert and Pat Hinton.
And they get just 1 yard on that one. Here's more pressure on a 2nd and 9. Everybody's coming.
Derek Frazier makes a fine play. Pat Hinton's in there.
And we'll look at it again. Tough to throw the ball when you've got to worry about where they're coming from.
Derek had a fine ball game. He played hard all day long, played very well.
And Rabune played well, too. We haven't talked much about him here, but he had like 16 tackles.
Oh, he did an excellent job.
Over the middle, and really not much there. This is a drive now for Georgia. The Gamecock fans celebrating. They have to punt it away, and here you come back offensively.
Excellent move by Robert Brooks getting outside. I believe that was 2nd or 3rd down play, and he picked up the 1st down.
Yeah, you got 14 yards. You needed 13. And now later in the drive, it's 2nd and 4. Harold Green makes a nice run. Gets
It was a good run.
8 and the 1st down, but this drive bogs down, stalls, and you have to punt. And Georgia's going to go on the attack. They get it over the middle to that big tight end, Sadowski.
And he was big. He was a good-sized tight end.
Here's a big 4th down play. This is 4th and 6, and this is a scoring drive for Georgia. This keeps it alive, and they get it to Worley for 13 yards. Windsor and Rabune are there. And now it's 2nd and 3. There's the little pitch. That's their touchdown. But those 3 yards, keep in mind, the nation's leading rushing team, those 3 yards put over 100 yards per day in rushing the football with 102 yards. It's considered 27 came in the first rush of the football game, and the final stats, like the final score, much in favor of the Gamecocks. 23-10 in 1st downs, 28 rushes, 76 yards. And the passing, Todd brilliant again, just the 1 interception. 397 total yards, 241. Todd Ellis over 1,000 yards in just 4 games. We'll be back. Take a look at our officials' call of the week right after this.
You know, in the game of college football, there's one penalty that's guaranteed to bring all the fans to their feet, and that's pass interference, whether it's called or not called. Now, we prepared a little demonstration to give you an idea of what that official has to look for when he either calls or doesn't call pass interference.
One of the things that really gets fans excited in a football game is pass interference, or when pass interference is not called. Remember, these two men both have a right to the football. They have no territorial rights. As they're coming out, notice that both of them are going for the ball. They're both looking for the football. Their legs get entangled. They both go down. Somebody wants pass interference, but that's a no call. There was no pass interference here because there was no intent to impede. But for pass interference, when you have physical contact with the intent to impede, then you do have a pass interference. And a lot of times these players will try and get a little sneaky Pete in there, hoping nobody will see it, where they're both reaching for the ball, but you'll notice he's pushing off on the offensive player, trying to divert everybody's attention with his hands. That's pass interference.
Pass interference. Next time, besides the goal line, let's see how important that sideline is.
And our thanks to the Southern Independent Officials Association for the rules of the game. And Coach, again, congratulations, a great effort.
Well, it was a good effort, I think, by our coaching staffs, offensively, defensively, certainly the special teams, and most of all our young men. They deserve a tremendous amount of credit for their effort today.
Well, maybe next week it will be the Gamecocks in the top 10. Appalachian State, it's homecoming. Cockfest on Friday night. Be there.